Okay, here we are at the public library right now in Holdenville, and this is where Dustin Rowe, who's running for U.S. Congress, is supposed to be conducting his town hall. Oh, let me lock the truck. Okay, here we go. So, going in. Oh, where's Dustin Rowe supposed to be?
Right back down that hall.
Just down the hall, okay.
So come on in. Hey there.
Oh, how you doing?
Arlene, come on in. Let me get you a chair.
Oh.
This is Arlene Armitage. She's famous from Stewart, Oklahoma.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, come on, Arlene. Come on.
Depends on who you talk to.
Yeah. Well, you're famous in my book.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
A world-renowned blogger and
How you doing?
commentator.
Hanging in there?
Arlene, these are homemade chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, well, who made them?
Well, me.
I made it.
This is
Right.
You know, I don't get a chance to eat that much. I have to eat on the run nowadays.
Well, looks like we're going to have plenty. Looks like we're going to have plenty.
Yeah, we've got another plate down here we haven't touched. So anyway, those are my thoughts, that our federal government was created to provide a national defense, protect our freedoms. And if it does those two things, then our life, liberty, and our ability to pursue our own happiness will be fully protected, not only for our generation, but for generations to come. And we have to quit expecting that Congress can solve our problems, because in America, ladies and gentlemen, Congress is not going to solve our problem. It hasn't, and it's not going to. The American people have to rise up and have the will to change what they want from their government, and that will ultimately will be reflected in the Congress. Do you all agree with that? Congress has to reflect the will of the American people. And if it doesn't, it will change, and it will have to yield to the will of the American people. So when we look at Congress, and we look at the borrowed expenditure, we look at the fact that they've had handout after handout to the American people, and we ask, well, how did that happen? Those goofballs, how did they do that? You have to look at the American people. We've allowed it to happen because too many of us have become complacent and have had the expectation from our government instead of a desire to contribute more than we take. So, I believe that we have our best days ahead of us. I believe that this is the best society in the world to live in. I would want to live anywhere in the world other than America, even though we have this many problems. Europe is in much worse shape than we are. Their economy is much worse than ours. How many of you know that the European Union bailed out Greece just 6 months ago? You remember seeing that on the news? Today, Greece's unemployment rate is still 21%. Despite all the massive government bailout from the European Union, Greece's unemployment rate is 21%. Alec, that means 1 in 5 people can't find a job. Spain is on the brink of collapse right now. Spain's unemployment rate is 23%. 1 in 4 people in Spain can't find a job, does not have a job, and Spain will be the next country that will have to be bailed out by the European Union. Cross over the Atlantic and look at the United States of America. The unemployment rate in Washington, D.C. is 51%. Now, how many of you know where the other 50% that are employed are working? They're working for the federal government.
Yep.
We have become so dependent on the federal government in this society that it's truly scary. When we're borrowing 43% of every dollar we spend in America right now, that means today, if our government spends $1, it's borrowing 43 pennies of that dollar. You ask yourselves, how in the world, how is it working? The reason it's working is because Europe is such a poor investment. The other countries around the world are investing in America. That's why China's loaning us money, because we're a better investment than Europe. And you ask yourself, what will happen when we cannot continue to borrow money? Government services will have to be cut. You've heard of the word austerity? Austerity is forced taxes and forced cuts in government programs. That's what will happen in America if we can't continue to borrow money or we don't make the necessary cuts now. So I want to ask you all, is the will in this room, is the will in this district in Oklahoma such that we will stand up and say, we will not expect from our federal government, we will expect that we are here to serve our country, not to be served. And we are here to take the approach that the federal government is only to provide us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And anything beyond that should be handled at the state and local level, and we will take back control of our own lives and pursue our own destiny and not expect our federal government to control it for us. Do I hear an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.